Local bus drivers team up with police to slow down careless drivers.
They're either completely distracted or they know what they're doing and they just don't care.
When you need to stop for red lights or see these red lights in your rearview mirror. Plus, he's playing piano with just a wave of his hand. Why this student might just be the best air piano player in the country. And what happens when you flush the toilet? These students go to the other end of the pipe to find out. Hello and welcome to In the Know. I'm Coleen Nelson. When you think of our community's most important jobs, you might think of police officers. You may not think of school bus drivers, but you should. They keep our kids safe every single day. In Vancouver, bus drivers and police teamed up to educate drivers on how to protect children. A school bus slows to pick up students on 4th Plain Boulevard, yellow lights flashing. The lights turn red and a stop sign extends from the side of the bus. A driver traveling behind ignores it, and she does it right in front of Officer Tina Smith.
And some people, you just drive oblivious, generally.
Officer Smith has some red lights of her own, and this driver finds out the hard way.
She saw the lights up, and she thought she had time to get through. That was her explanation to me.
Officer Smith decides that a warning is enough in this case.
She's in the computer now, so if she does it again, we'll see that she's done it before, and she'll get a ticket next time.
Bus drivers say they see incidents like this all the time.
3 times a week.
Laura Dickinson puts her kids first and urges drivers to do the same.
And so you think that, oh, they're loading on the bus on the right-hand side, but the truth is that you never know what a child's going to do.
Driver Greg Rickert nearly had his worst fear come true.
Somebody raced by, passing me on a double yellow line as a student was getting ready to cross, and it's terrifying.
So what is the rule? On a regular 2-lane street, traffic in both directions must stop when the red lights go on. On larger streets, where there's a physical divider or center lane, traffic moving in the same direction as the bus has to stop, while oncoming traffic is free to proceed with caution. The rule of thumb for all drivers is to take personal responsibility.
Be prepared to stop when you see a bus putting on their yellow lights.
And remember,
that's somebody's child, and that it's a life, and that you don't want to take the risk of not stopping.
The traffic stop we showed you is part of a Stop Paddle Day organized by the Vancouver Public Schools Transportation Department. A special thanks goes out to the Vancouver Police Department and Clark County Sheriff's Office for helping out. An 8th grader at Discovery Middle School is the state geography champion. Nick Helmer won the Washington Geographic Bee in Tacoma after sweeping through local and regional competitions. The victory earned Nick a trip to the National Geographic Bee in Washington, D.C. in late May. He told us he was glad to compete and surprised to win.
It was really exciting. I just got up there. I didn't expect to win. I just got up there and I saw the other person's answer at the final bit. And I was like, wow, I've won. It's just a great feeling,
Nick's teacher, Rose Wilson, says that they study a lot of U.S. history and geography in class, but not a lot of world geography. And that means Nick works very hard on his own outside of school to be ready for competition.
He has incredible knowledge. It's almost like he has a mental map in his head and just recalls this information. So he's quite talented when it comes to geography.
If Nick makes the top 10 at the national competition, you'll be able to see him compete. The finals will be broadcast on the National Geographic Channel. The honors keep coming for Washington's Teacher of the Year, Mark Ray. The Skyview teacher librarian got a trip to Washington, D.C. and a chance to meet the president. As you can see in this photo from the Associated Press, Mark is standing right behind President Obama as he hands out the National Teacher of the Year award. Although Mark did not win, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The woman shaking Mr. Obama's hand is the National Teacher of the Year. She is from California. Now, Mark is not just our State Teacher of the Year, he's also our We Learn correspondent. We Learn is the district's initiative to put more technology in our classrooms. At Vancouver School of Arts and Academics, students in the Recording Arts program are using it for self-expression. As Mark explains, they're also using it to build valuable technical job skills.
Pretty much every high schooler loves music. I mean, how many of us have been in a band? Students in VSAA's Recording Arts program not only record and produce their own music, they're also learning what it takes to make a career for themselves.
And I also created...
This is the first ever showcase event for the Recording Arts program at VSAA.
We thought we'd do something a little different this year and put it all out in front of the whole student body and celebrate our geekiness in front of everybody.
The entire student body gathers in the Durst Theater to see and hear as students put on multimedia presentations to explain just how they created their projects.
Kids that have great ideas, they can turn it into a tangible product.
To improve his knowledge of how sound works, Senior Eric Henriksen ditched digital equipment in favor of analog. Not being able to fix mistakes after the fact, which you can easily do with software, meant that Eric had to do things exactly right.
I like the technical stuff. I like to work with setting up mics, making sure everything sounds good, solving problems and stuff like that.
But Eric also understands how digital production works, and that's the goal of the program, to prepare students for the job market.
The opportunities for kids that have good skills and kids that know how to use the software and actually know a lot about audio theory too. They're needed. They're really needed.
Much of this cutting-edge equipment comes from grants. One of the coolest and rarest pieces just arrived thanks to a gift from Leslie Durst. Matthew Heisch is rocking out on the air piano. Basically, it's what's called a MIDI device, kind of like a synthesizer, but instead of using piano keys,
uses infrared sensors to detect where your hands are to trigger the MIDI notes, which then you can plug into any system and have sound.
Matthew may well be the greatest air piano player in the nation. Not that he has that much competition.
There are 22 of them made in the world, 19 sold, 2 in the United States, and we're the only high school to have one.
The company that makes the air piano doesn't even sell them in the United States. A staff member had to drive all the way to British Columbia to pick it up. Students know how lucky they are to have these tools at their fingertips.
It's great to get like an experience. It's just a lot of time to fool around and do what you want to do.
I love it. I think it's a great opportunity for kids like us to be given the opportunity to work in this field.
For In the Know, I'm Mark Ray.
The VPS-TV studio wins 3 awards from the Washington School Public Relations Association. First, WSPRA gave the show you're watching now, In the Know, an award of excellence for video audio programming. The Excellence Award is the highest honor that WSPRA gives and means that the district is recognized as one of the very best in the state. The VPS-TV studio also took home a General Excellence Award and an honorable mention in other categories. Not to be outdone, the district's print news magazine, The Report to the Community, also won an Excellence Award. The district website won an Award of Merit. But even bigger, Vancouver Public Schools TV studio, which produces this show, is now Emmy nominated. And this, of course, is one of the biggest honors in television, and it's rare for a school district to be competing against all of the corporate-owned TV stations. The district was nominated for its show Science in the category of Best Health Science Program. Its competition is KATU in Portland, Como in Seattle, and PBS in Montana. The award is handed out by the Northwest region of the National Academy of Television and Sciences. Producers Nick Vole and Ian Southworth are nominated, along with host Nate Macon, who's a physics teacher at Skyview. They'll find out whether they won on June 2nd at an awards ceremony in Seattle. You can see Science on Comcast Channel 28. It's part of the VPS Power Half Hour, along with cooking show Dave's Kitchen. Both of these shows are also available on the district's YouTube page. That's youtube.com/VanSDTV. The most recent episode of Science is all about Skyview's annual SMT Challenge Day. Students in the Science, Math, and Technology Magnet program are given 1 day to complete a nearly impossible task. This year, their goal was to build a device that could glide down a zip line from the second story of the Skyview Commons and scoop up those little green army men from a table on the ground. The goal is to challenge students to use what they've learned to problem solve.
I think it's important because kids need to feel like what they're learning in the class day to day is applicable anytime. They get to build, have fun, work as teams, and use those things that we're trying to teach them, within a small classroom setting in a different kind of a way.
Several groups found success, although this triangle-shaped device by far picked up the most toys. The Science episode that shows the entire day's process, start to finish, is airing on Comcast right now. The newest school in Vancouver is getting closer to opening its doors, and now it has a teaching staff. Vancouver iTech Preparatory will open in the fall. It's a STEM school, and STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. The staff has been interviewed and hired and will begin to meet soon to prepare for the coming year. The students have also been selected by a lottery process. Principal Christina Eiermonger will move from Columbia River High School to iTech Prep.
I think it's very difficult for me to describe how excited I am about this new school. The energy around this is palpable. Anyone we talk to, they're intrigued, they're engaged already. We don't even have to talk much about it.
The new school will have grades 6 through 12 and 2 campuses. The middle schoolers will be housed at the Jim Parsley Center, and the high schoolers will be at Washington State University, Vancouver. Students reach out to police officers in an effort to spread a little joy. Members of the Junior Joy team traveled to the West Precinct of the Vancouver Police Department to share balloons, personalized thank you cards, and smiles. The Joy team is made up of students from Houck Elementary and other schools. Its mission is to spread joy to people who work hard to make our lives better. The officers appreciate the opportunity to meet the children.
When they have a chance to reach out to us in this very unique way, it does. It makes us smile. It takes us out of our zone and makes us realize that kids like that are out there, and there are so many more out there.
More than 300 local children wrote notes of appreciation to officers. They were part of so-called happy packets that the Joy team passed out in their visit to the precinct. The ultimate goal of the public school system is to prepare children to be successful adults. But it can be hard to get kids to see past the here and now, and that's where the Gear Up program comes in. Chad Young and Nick Vole show us how Gear Up is preparing kids for college and careers.
I'm here in front of the Columbia River, where every day millions of gallons of clean water are pumped into the river from this plant here in Vancouver. Now today, students from the Gear Up program at McLaughlin Middle School got a chance to tour this facility and see how the process works. Sights, smells, and all. Make no mistake about it, when you take a tour of the City of Vancouver's water treatment plant, the first stop is memorable.
It was a pretty strong smell when you walked in there.
Students from McLaughlin Middle School in the Gear Up program were there to learn what happens after you flush the toilet.
It starts at this one area from our toilet water. It comes down there and it gets cleaned and stuff. It goes through many different processes of cleaning.
The students quickly learned the smell is limited to just the rooms that hold the water, thanks to a high-tech filtration system.
Millions and millions of gallons of water go through there a day. That's a lot.
This is a facility where we base our one of our cleanliness off the actual odor or lack thereof. I mean, the whole facility was built to prevent the odor from going out to the public.
This field trip illustrates the career fields the students have been studying.
And learning about technology and engineering.
When they've been learning about a specific career and job interest, we kind of want to show them kind of some real life application to it.
It's good to interact with the kids and kind of give them an idea of what goes on here and let them know that there is things out there for them to do.
That's the long-range goal of Gear Up, to get kids to plan for their future.
The biggest thing is right now planting the seed for our 7th graders that all of them can go to college.
The short-range goal is to give them the tools to make it there.
Building the foundation of study habits and, organizational skills.
Come on time, always go to school prepared.
like ever since I joined, I've actually been studying for tests that I've had. Because we're doing a test right now in math, and I actually studied for it.
For In the Know, I'm Nick Vole.
Actually have a great story. It happened right across the street here.
Kids in this classroom at Geyser Middle School are learning what it's like to be a sheriff's deputy. Elsewhere,
42 venomous snakes.
Students get to hear from an animal control officer, a pharmacist,
So how do you decide you're going to be a teacher?
and a teacher. These speakers, and others, are all here for the Gear Up Career and College Fair.
It really is amazing to see the willingness of the community to come in and give up a portion of their day to speak to the students about their careers.
Now, students are learning from industry professionals the steps it takes to get to the career that they want. And the first step in almost every career is college. Now, that's what the students down here on the floor are exploring right now. Representatives from a number of schools filled the gymnasium, talking to kids about the programs and amenities their schools offer.
We've just been looking at the pros and cons of different colleges.
They're going to show me what I'm going to need to do to get to college, and that's going to affect what I'm going to learn and what I'm going to want to do.
Even though they're only middle schoolers, it's not too soon to work toward their future.
They can start to say, okay, this is a school that I'm thinking about going to, and really start to identify with those schools.
Meeting with real people about careers and colleges makes the future more tangible for students.
Talking to these people that take their time out of their day make me really want to go to college, and they're really encouraging.
For In the Know, I'm Chad Young.
Kids from 2 Vancouver high schools are making their mark with poetry. At Vancouver School of Arts and Academics, 2 writers were recognized for their poetry in a national contest. On the left, Ben B.C. Caldwell, a junior, received a gold medal and Best in Grade award for his poetry collection. He also earned a silver medal for a flash fiction piece. BC earned a trip to New York in the beginning of June for an awards ceremony at Carnegie Hall. On the right, junior Miles Hewitt received a silver medal for his poetry collection. Both Miles and BC are working to get even better.
I love reading so much, and the stories are so important to me. And really the only way, after a certain point, the only way you can take that experience to the next level is to start writing for your own, to emulate, the inspiration you feel when reading.
And I submitted these in December, and in the month since then, I feel like I've become twice the poet I was then. I'm writing all the time, and it feels great to have gotten lucky so immediately upon entering the world of poetry. But it's also really exciting because I think I have a lot of growing still yet to do.
The contest was presented by the Alliance for Young Artists and Writers. More than 200,000 works were submitted from across the country. BC isn't just good at writing poetry, he's good at reading other people's work too. He and other VPS students competed in the Poetry Out Loud competition. The competition challenges students to select and perform poetry. Fort Vancouver student Yera Temuklo is originally from the African nation of Ghana and selected a poem by Maya Angelou.
It was great because I felt I had a connection with her because Maya Angelou herself has been to the country that I am from, and so I felt a kind of bond doing the poem.
The top 2 finishers in this regional competition went on to state. BC finished 3rd, getting beat out in triple overtime for the final spot to the state competition. TV Etc. covered the Poetry Out Loud event, and after this episode of In the Know, we'll show you highlights from BC and Yera. Thanks to TV Etc. for sharing their footage. And that just about does it for us. Remember that you can see past episodes of In the Know and other VPS programming on our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/VanSDTV. For In the Know, I'm Coleen Nelson.